How is winter in Portugal? Cold and wet. Not something that you would expect if you are looking of all the glossy magazines that tell you that in Portugal is wonderful weather all year around. If you remember from my first video, when I first arrived in January, the house was cold and wet and outside was freezing. And yep, this is winter in Portugal. But let's start with the beginning. Here in Portugal, the weather in January and February is much better than in other European countries, even if in January it was freezing cold and in February until now we had rain all day long and we had mist and low temperature. Even in these conditions, in Portugal, the weather is much better than in most European countries. The actual problem in Portugal is not the weather. The problem in Portugal is that houses are not properly insulated. All the houses, well, not really all the houses, the newer ones are built with another standards, but the old houses in Portugal, most of them are built without proper insulation, without heating, and not much of them have even double glazing, so the insulation is very bad. And this is why in the house you always feel like you are freezing, even if outside it's a beautiful day. And if you take our house, for example, because here on my channel I speak and I like to speak only from my own experience. And if we take my house, my energy certificate, which I had to receive from the previous owner, a house cannot be sold if he doesn't have an energy certificate. And here, this shows that I have the letter D. D, which is bad. It says here that I need to have grandes intervenciones. I mean, in order to proper insulate the house, we need to make major renovation, major construction. And what I like about this energy certificate in Portugal is that they also tell you what to do in order to insulate your house properly. So they tell me here that most of my heat is lost because of the roof. The roof is not properly insulated, and 51% of my heat is going through the roof. So even if I heat my house, half of that heat it's lost through the roof, and this is a lot. Taking into consideration how much it costs to heat a house in Portugal, we will arrive at that immediately. If I thermically isolate my roof, I will get the house from the letter D to C, which is much better. And also they tell me that if I isolate the walls, also the house would be much better insulated. Of course, I already have double glazing, but if I wouldn't have this, they would also tell me that I had to have double glazing in order to have a properly insulated house. So of course we are going to do all these major renovations and we are going to properly insulate the house when we are going to renovate the apartment. But for now, we were here in January and we were freezing cold and we had to do something. So what we have done to heat the house, first of all, we bought two larger heaters. If you saw in my previous videos, we bought these heaters and we use these heaters to heat the air in the house, and also we wanted to heat the walls. And in order to do that, we left these heaters like 2 or 3 days to run 24 hours, and this has cost us a lot. But even if those heaters were running 24 hours a day, like 2 or 3 days, after 2 or 3 days we didn't see much improvement in the house. It felt like nothing was running in the house in the terms of heating the house. Of course, we could stay in the house without our jacket, but it was really freezing cold. And this, combined with the fact that outside was also very cold, it was like, I don't know, using electricity for nothing because in the house was really, really cold and those heaters weren't doing much of anything. Of course, this house is not lived in, and this is also a problem if you are coming to stay in a house that it's not lived in before. The walls are very cold and everything is very cold and damp. You will have to heat the house much more than you would normally heat a house you are living in. So after 2 or 3 days, we started to use these heaters only in the evening, a couple of hours, just to heat the air in the room because it was starting to get very expensive to run them 24 hours a day. We kind of combined these heaters with electric mattresses. So the scope of these heaters was to warm up the house, but in order to warm up ourselves, we used electric mattresses. And I had the electric mattress, the kind of that you put under the blanket, and you sleep with it at night. But I also wanted an electric blanket to use on the sofa when I'm sitting at the TV, when I'm working during the day. The one that I used to sleep with during the night, I got from the previous owners. It was brand new, unopened, so I felt really safe to use it. It's a small one and I really don't know where they bought it or how much it costs, so this is why I'm not showing to you. But the one that I did bought, and I bought this from Wharton, and you saw this in my previous videos, it's from Bauer. So this is the one. Hello. This is the one, and I am, after using it like 1.5 months now, I can safely say that I'm so happy I bought this. Before coming to Portugal, I knew that I wanted to buy an electric blanket, and I was planning to buy it from Amazon. But then when I saw this here in Wharton, I bought it locally because I thought if it's something wrong with it, it's better to have a local shop to just go and replace it. It wasn't necessary, fortunately, and I didn't encounter any of the problems I read on the internet. When you buy an electric mattress, it doesn't heat properly, it only heats on the sides, not in the center, or it just stopped working after a couple of days. So I used this like 1.5 months and it still works. And what I like most about it, apart from the fact that it actually works and it heats really, really bad. I mean, I read on the internet that some people had this problem that they don't manage to get warm from the electric blanket because the electric blanket is heating really, really slow and a little. But this electric blanket, it has 6 levels and I only use the level 3 of warmth and I'm super, super warm. I never use it at maximum. It's not necessary. And it's also very, very, very soft, and it's like a blanket. You don't even know that it's electric. It's like you bought a blanket, very warm and fluffy blanket from your favorite store, I don't know. But it's heated. It looks very expensive, so the material, it's very pleasant to the touch, and it's my favorite thing that I bought here in Portugal, and I couldn't live without it. I don't know how much I spent. I put this in a previous videos. I think it was 70 euros, 60 something euros. I would put here on the screen. Also, what we used in a very, very cold evenings is that we are turning the air conditioning a little bit, like a half an hour, not only a half an hour, just to feel warm a little bit. But just for half an hour and that's it, because it's very expensive to run air conditioning all the time. And since the weather has warmed up here in Portugal in the month of February, it was very rainy, but it was a little bit warmer outside. We don't even turn up the electric heaters anymore during the night. So we don't turn up the electric heaters, but we use the air conditioning like half an hour or so just to warm up a little bit the air. And in the rest, we use this electric blanket, and this is all that we do. It was very important at the beginning, the first few days, to warm up the house and give the house the time to to take up and soak up all the warmth from the electric heaters. And what we did also in order to keep the house warm was to air the house every day. Because of the damp here in Portugal, you have to air the house every day, each and every day. Even if outside it's raining, it's important to let the flow of air to circulate the house. And after a few hours, an hour or two of airing the house, we close all the windows and we turn up the dehumidifiers, because it's no use to heat up a house that it's humid and all that dampness and all the water stays in all the materials, in the pillows, in the curtains, all over, in the rugs, in the carpets, and you have to remove that water from the air and every materials and then heat up the house. So practically what we do in the morning, we air the house, then we close all the windows, we put the dehumidifiers an hour or two, and then we heat up the house. Each and every day we do that, and after a month and a half we manage to get this house at a level that it's livable. I mean, the air, it's breathable, it's okay, it's warm, and everything is okay. Apart from the dehumidifiers, we also used these products. I never heard of them before. I never knew such products existed, but being confronted with the necessity to dehumidify the house, I come across these. These are some gadgets from plastic, and you put inside, it's like a stone that attracts humidity and transforms it in this water. And also the water, it's kept sealed so it doesn't get up in the air once it's removed. Also, it helps if you have a bad odor in the house from the dampness. And I have to report that it really, really works. They say one of the stones lasts like 3 months, but for us it lasts like 3 weeks. I think here in Algarve we had a lot of humidity in the air, and with the rain and the cold weather it didn't help. So one of these lasts like one of these that comes with this lasts for us like 3 weeks, 1 month. This was, I got it on a reduction from Continente, and it was, I think it was 8 euros. I got two, one for each bedroom, and I used these combined with the electric dehumidifiers. So this does his job all day long, and the dehumidifier only a couple of hours per day because it's really expensive to run them all the time. I didn't know how the technology works and how these stones work. I just bought them because I was desperate, and I had the good fortune to come across a good product. So let's talk about how much did it cost to do that. And in the month of January, we paid for electricity 142 euros. And from 142 euros, we paid taxes 29 euros, and the rest of the sum, 113 euros, was the actual cost of the electricity. And what I want to mention here is that when we came in Portugal at the beginning of January, we made a request to EDP to change the potencia. We had a potencia of 21. I think it's the largest potencia that you can have in Portugal. And I've read on the internet that the motive of why our bill of electricity was so high, even if we aren't spending much time here in Portugal and we are not consuming the electricity, is because we have a very big potencia. So our potencia was 21, and we were paying 40 euros only in taxes. That without spending any electricity, without consuming anything, we were paying 40 euros. And when we came here, we said, okay, let's listen to the people of the internet and change the potencia. On the site on EDP, you can make like simulation of all the appliances you have in the house, and they tell you what potencia you need in order not to overpay for this potencia. And we made this simulation, and Oedipus said that we need a potencia of 10. So it's 1035. Also, this combined with what we read on the internet. We read on the internet that there are people who had the potencia of 3 and they are okay. They are running a house okay. They are having a lot of appliances. They don't have any problems. Other people said that they have a potencia of 6 and that it's more than enough. And we took the precaution and said, no, let's put 10 like Oedipus says 10. And we made a request and it was approved. We had to wait a couple of days. And what happened is that a guy from Oedipus came to our house and made something there at the meter, and poof, the next day we had the potencia of 1035. And what do you think happened? Because we listened to Oedipus and all the people on the internet. Nothing good happened. I mean, it's good to make research on the internet, but you also have to factor in your own lifestyle, because we listen to Oedipus and we listen to all the people on the internet, and now we cannot take a shower in the same time that the machine that washes the dishes runs, or if you have the air conditioning on and you want to take a shower in the same time, and also I don't know, you want to make a tea, you can, because what it happens is that Oedipus cuts off the power if you are using power over this potencia that is set up. So the first time when this happens, I was not in the shower, thank God, but I was making something to eat. So I was on the computer and putting something to eat in the microwave, and I also had the air conditioning on. And I think I had the heater, one of the heaters, not the both of them, just one of the heaters on. And the power stopped because I was using much greater potencia than what I had set up. And this kept happening over and over again. After a couple of days or even weeks, after the power just keep shutting off, finally we kind of understood which appliances we couldn't use in the same time, and we made a custom of it. Now we know how to go around that, and we know how to work within this setup potencia. But it was a hassle at first, and what I want to emphasize here is that even if everybody on the internet says that you don't need in your lifetime a potencia greater than 6, this is not true. I mean, I don't know how those people live, but we have dishwashing machine, we have 2 computers, we need to heat the house, and we want to take a shower like each and every day, and for that you have to heat the water like 1 and 2 hours in advance. I don't know, I think we live like a pretty normal life, and the potencia of 10 for us is not enough. So if you want to take a shower in the same time that you are boiling an egg, you need a potencia of 10 or greater. This is our experience, and I don't even want to imagine how a person that has a potencia of 3 lives. It turns out that the potencia of 21 for us was just okay. It was okay with our lifestyle, so we shouldn't change it just because we read it on the internet. But now that we did change it, we said let's try to live with this potencia and with these new rules, like I don't know, 2 or 3 months for the duration that we are here. And if we cannot be accustomed with these new rules, we're just going to change it back. And I want to also tell you about the cost, because we paid before for the potencia of 21, we paid 40 euros, and for the potencia of 10, we pay like 26 euros, something like that. So, okay, it's almost half of the price, but not really. I don't know. Is it worth it? So going back to the cost of how much did it cost to heat the house during a winter month, it was 142 euros, and a lot of this electricity was spent in those couple of days at the beginning when we left the heaters to run 24 hours a day, right, 2 or 3 days. It was very expensive to do that, but we had to. So we talked about the appliances, we talked about the cost, we talked about the potencia, and we talked about the fact that we have a lifestyle that needs a lot of potencia and a lot of appliances. If it's something that I did not cover in this video, please leave it in the comments and I will try my best to give you the information there. And also it would be very interesting to leave it in the comments if you are living in Portugal. What potencia do you have? And if you feel that you are making a compromise with that potencia, because us with the potencia of 10, we surely feel like we are compromising a lot and we have to adjust our lifestyle to this. Don't forget to subscribe if you are not already, and I hope I will see you in my next video. We will be here with the potencia of 10 trying to learn how to live in Portugal. Bye!